Hello, Algebra 1 students. We're going to do that story problems or the application problems for the systems of inequalities. I believe it's section 6.6 in your book. So I have two problems for you, and we'll just discuss them and how to work out word problems with inequalities. So, okay, this is the first one. Health. Mr. Flowers is on a restricted diet that allows him to have from 1,600 to 2,000 calories per day. His daily fat intake is restricted to between 45 and 55 grams inclusive. What daily calorie and fat intakes are acceptable? So the first thing we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to define our variables here, okay? So we know that the x-axis is calories and the y-axis is fat grams because they gave that to us. So we're going to have C equal the number of calories and F equal the number of fat calories. So the first thing we want to look at is this 1,600 to 2,000 calories. So that deals with the variable C here. So we're going to write an inequality dealing with that. So it says he can only have between 1,600 to 2,000. So C is going to be between. So this is how you show betweenness. It's going to be between two numbers. Well, you're going to put the lower number here and the higher number there. So that's how you're going to write that inequality that goes with that. And then the last one, it says between 45 and 55 grams. So that deals with the fat. So again, you're going to have betweenness. So it's less than or equal to, less than or equal to. Okay, what's your lowest number here? So your lowest number is going to be 45, and 55 will be your higher number. So we're going to have to graph these. So the graph of these are going to be vertical or horizontal lines, depending on what axis it's going through. So this is C. C is on the x-axis here. So it has to be between 1,600 and 2,000. So it's going to be going through the x-axis. So let's go ahead and draw in the boundary there. So 1,600 is about right here, and we're just going to draw a vertical line up and down. So there's that one. And then it'll be a solid line because it includes it. And then we're over at 2,000. So there's your two lines here. And it's going to be shaded in between here. And then the last one is 45 and 55 on the x-axis. So here's 45. And here's 55. So the final answer will be this little square right there. So to answer this problem, what daily calorie and fat intakes are acceptable? It's any point in that shaded region right here. So if we look at it, well, one of the points could be 1,700 and 50. We could also have 1,800 and 52. Okay, there's actually going to be a whole myriad of points. So then you just want to take your points and you're going to want to translate them into the terms of the problem here. So you're going to say 1,700 calories comma 50 fat grams. Okay, and this one will be 1,800 calories and 52 fat grams. So this is an example of a problem where you're going to have vertical and horizontal lines and between two values. So let's look at one where you're going to have a line with a slope, an inequality with slope. So we're going to move on to the next one. All right, just a little technical difficulties there, but this one is about recreation. So Maria had $150 in gift certificates to use at a record store. She bought no more than 20 recordings. Each tape cost $5.95 and each CD cost $8.95. How many of each type of recordings might she have bought? So again, we're going to define our variables. They already set it up for us. We're going to have T equal the number of tapes. So T equals number of tapes. And C is going to equal number of CDs. Okay, so the first part we're going to look at, she bought no more than 20 recordings total. So if we take the number of tapes that she bought, T, plus C, we should get less than or equal to 20. T plus C is less than or equal to 20. All right, let's do one with money, because it mentions the $150 and the cost of the tapes and the cost of the CDs here. So tapes are $5.95, so it's going to be 5.95 T plus, and then CDs are 8.95. C is less than or equal to 150. Okay, so there's our two equations. Now we have to graph it. And so you're like, well, Ms. Post, how do I do that? So we're going to take a look at each one of those equations. We're going to look at this one first here. Okay, and I'm going to write it off to the side here. T plus C is less than or equal to 20. T plus C is less than or equal to 20. So we know it's going to be equal to, so we can just write equal to here equals 20. And we can just make a table, T and C. I'm going to put 0 in for T and 0 in for C. So if I put 0 in for T here, I get C is 20. If I put 0 in for C, I get T is 20. So far we have 0 and 20. And 20 and 0, that was pretty simple. Okay. And we know it's going to be a line because of the equal sign underneath the original here. So we're going to connect them. And we just have to figure out where we're going to shade. So the easiest way to do that is to sub in 0 for T and 0 for C, less than or equal to 20. So 0 is less than or equal to 20, which is true. So we're going to shade towards 0, 0. So far we have that little region right here shaded. Okay, I'm going to erase this and we're going to move on to the second equation here with the 595 and the 895, okay? So we're going to focus on our second equation here, 5.95t plus 8.95t is less than or equal to 150. And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to set up a table T and C. And again, all we need is 2 points to graph our inequality here. So you're going to have to use a calculator, and we're just going to sub in 0, and we're going to sub in 10. Okay? So if we didn't have this here, so you're going to take 150 divided by 895. You'll type it in your calculator, and you're going to get approximately 16.76. And then you're going to do the same thing with 10. You're going to sub it in here. You're going to subtract it from 150 and divide by 8.95. And that's going to be approximately 10.11. So we're going to graph that in red. And so we're up here at 0, a little bit above the 15, and then we're over here at 10 and a little bit above 10, so it's probably about right here is where it's going to be. And we know it's going to be solid because of the line underneath, so it looks like this. And then again, we're just going to sub in 0, 0. So 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 150, which is true. So we're going to shade below the line. So now I know where my shaded region is, and I'm just going to darken it in black here. So the shaded region will include part of that red line and then all the way over to your axes here. That'll be the region that we're looking at. And it's going to include the boundary lines here because they're solid lines. So any of the points in here would work for the equation. So you can put in 10, 10 would work, or 5, 12 would be another one that would work here, because those are the ordered pairs in the shaded region. And then you just have to interpret what they mean. So this means 10 tapes and 10 CDs. This one means 5 tapes and 12 CDs. So that's all for the application problems in this section. I'm going to include in your homework assignment the handout that went with this so you can follow along as well. I'll see you next week. Bye.